Welcome to a talk with Robert J. Caron of Caron Law Office in Providence, Rhode Island. In this video series, Attorney Caron will discuss some of his primary areas of practice, which include criminal law, family law, commercial fishery, personal injury, civil rights violations, and criminal record expungement.
Hi, my name is Rob Caron. I'm an attorney practicing in Providence, Rhode Island for almost 20 years now. My focus has been in criminal defense work. Directly after leaving law school, I opened up my own office and have been in private practice the entire time. People often ask, how is it that you can represent someone who's been charged with certain crimes? And of course the answer is a simple one. It's a constitutional one, and everyone has a right to a defense. And the best defense that I could possibly put forward is what I do every time. I've handled some very serious cases, felony cases, capital cases, from murder to sexual assault, molestation cases, serious felonies, of course to misdemeanors, which all takes place. The misdemeanors take place in the district court. The other cases I've mentioned in the superior court. It's a tough process to get through. Oftentimes people are first-time offenders, or at least alleged to be first-time offenders, and it can be pretty nerve-wracking going through the system. You know, one thing to keep in mind, and one thing that a lot of people seem to fail to realize, is that people are falsely accused. That happens every day under a myriad of circumstances. It can be in a domestic setting with domestic violence allegations. People use that tool too often to get back at the other partner or spouse by making allegations of domestic violence. It's a tool that's used, unfortunately, in my experience, to get the other person out of the house by making the allegations, because chances are, if an allegation is made, someone's going to be arrested that night. So again, people are falsely accused. That's what the system is for. There may be different degrees of culpability with something that you are charged with. Oftentimes things are overcharged. By that I mean perhaps something is charged as an assault with a dangerous weapon, a serious felony, and when in reality, after all the facts are sifted through, and the Attorney General's office has had an opportunity to look at the case and determine whether it merits that kind of charge being sustained, oftentimes it's reduced to what it should have been in the first place, perhaps a simple assault, which should perhaps just be filed based upon someone's lack of any criminal record. So there's a lot to it. The more serious the case, the more work is involved, clearly, and the stakes are higher. All cases start out with either a complaint or an indictment. And if it's a criminal complaint, most times that comes from the local police departments or the state police as well. If it's a serious case, a capital case, a murder case, a capital case is a case which carries up to life behind bars, those cases have to be charged by way of an indictment. And that is submitting the case before a grand jury to see if there is probable cause to believe that crime has been committed, as whatever the charge may be. Someone who's never been in the system before, I'm sure, is equally panicked when they are arraigned. Most cases start, as I said, in the district court. Even those very serious felony cases that carry up to life in prison, oftentimes they will start in the district court by way of a criminal complaint, and then you have an opportunity to be heard at a bail hearing. You know, you can make a pitch for bail upon that initial presentment, but chances are, if the charge is serious enough, you're going to be held over for a bail hearing. It gives us a time to prepare your case. It's almost like a mini trial going to a bail hearing at times. That takes place in the district court. Bail is favored in any case because, as you all know, we in this country are presumed innocent. But there are things to consider whether someone is a danger to the community or a flight risk after they have been charged, and court, after hearing the evidence, may release someone with conditions. There may be some home confinement involved. There may be what we call surety bail, a percentage of a certain amount of money, where you have to promise essentially to appear and come before the court and face the charges. Running away from it is never a good idea, and it never resolves anything, and certainly doesn't make someone a good candidate for bail if and when they are captured. So you face it, you go through the process, and you make sure that the police or law enforcement officials have done what they're supposed to do in securing a criminal complaint or an indictment. And if they've done that inconsistent with constitutional guarantees, then those are challenges that we make in the appropriate due course as the case moves through the system. In addition to those cases I've talked about, oftentimes I see a lot of driving under the influence charges. They're so serious. They're very serious cases because anytime that anyone's privilege to operate a motor vehicle is in jeopardy, it can mean the world to everyone. It can mean employment versus no longer employed. So we certainly approach those cases aggressively to make sure that the police have crossed the T's and dotted the I's and whatever their investigative stop may have entailed. If you are charged with driving under the influence or refusal to take a chemical test, those are cases that we are certainly very prepared to handle in this office with excellent results over the years. Like I said, I've been at this for almost 20 years now, and I can't think of a type of criminal case that I have not taken on. I know where the courthouses are. I know how to put a jury in the box. I know how to try a case. So if you find yourself in a situation where you're charged with a crime, give me a call. We'll sit down. It's not going to cost you anything to sit down and talk with me. We'll go over the procedure, what to expect. I will answer any and all questions that you have, and look into any possible defense that you think may be applicable. Certainly that's my area of expertise, to know how to approach the case and what defense we may want to put forward for you. But a consultation would never cost you anything in this office. You can call, make an appointment. I'll set aside the time, and we'll discuss your case.